I moved to Miami 6 months ago in September of 2025. It's April 2026 right now. And it's been some time, like 6 months. It doesn't sound crazy, but to me, it feels like I've gone through multiple seasons of life in this 6 month span. And I just felt like I wanted to make a video regarding like things that I've learned, like mainly just like three big things that I've learned in this time frame that I wish I heard initially when I moved down here. Because just further context, there was a 2 week span between me having the thought idea pop up in my head of thinking like I want to move down to Miami, and then me actually like physically getting in my car and moving down here. I had a friend that offered me a job and offered me housing and said like, I have a spot for you to stay. And I don't know why, like I asked myself the other day, like, why do I feel so drawn towards big cities? And to me, it just feels like there's a lot of opportunity that, like, it feels like there's energy radiating off of a city, right? I've always had dreams of living in Toronto. I didn't really like New York as much. And mind you, I'm driving right now, so hope the audio is good. I hope the visuals are at least somewhat tolerable. But I just always felt drawn towards cities. Again, I have family that lives in Toronto. It's raining like crazy right now, by the way, which is part of Miami, so I guess you get a good experience with this. But I just always felt drawn towards bigger cities because I felt like I wanted the lifestyle. Like that was the biggest thing that I was drawn towards, being able to live in the heart of a city, being able to be like walking distance from everything, even having a car in the city as well, like I'm doing right now where I'm driving, and pretty cool view in the background. Like look at this. Like this is what I was fucking drawn towards. Being able to drive palm trees on the highway, drive my own car on my own time, and I'm on the way to meet up with one of my friends. So I just felt drawn towards that lifestyle, like being able to have my own independence, have my own freedom, being able to like be around people, even though that I am naturally an introvert and like I still am. I just felt like I wanted to be around people. And that's why I felt like I needed to go to a city. And also it felt like I was putting myself in an uncomfortable position because, living in the suburbs, if you are a suburban kid just like me, then you can relate that things can get pretty comfortable. Like you feel like you're very, very comfortable in your own life. And it feels like at times, like at least for me, I just felt like I had so much ambition, felt like I didn't want to settle for what was the norm around me. But the norm back where I live, like it wasn't bad at all. Like there was nothing wrong with that. I just wanted more personally. And being ambitious, being like you want to level up in a way, you see the norm around you and you're like, I want to do better. But I don't know why, like I just felt like I didn't want to settle for the norm around me. And that's why I felt drawn towards a bigger city, is because it felt like I could have a lot more opportunity if I did that. So that's why I felt so drawn. And like Miami, like luckily I surrounded myself with some people who live down here. I had the opportunity of coming down here for like a mastermind event where I meet with like-minded guys that I was just networking with over online, over social media, and I got to meet them in person, and like they resembled and they possessed the lifestyle that I wanted, the life that I wanted, being that they have a network around them in Miami, like-minded guys who want the same exact ambitions that they do. And that's what I felt drawn towards. And again, like I want to show you this view while I'm in traffic right now. Wait for this big ass truck to move. But like this was what I was drawn towards. And I'm gonna tell you, when I drove down here, and like again, I drove down here for the first time from Richmond, Virginia. And when I tell you, like the first time I saw the skyline, I got goosebumps. It's just a special, like this city is very symbolic to me. It just symbolizes growth. It symbolizes discomfort. It symbolizes like opportunity. And that's why I felt drawn towards it. So moving on, like ultimately like the chunk of value that I want you to take away from this video, if you take anything, but I just want to talk to my younger self right now, being that I'm 6 months in, this is what I learned. But the first thing, I want to talk about three things, but the first thing that I kind of wrote down that I want to talk about is that let it all work out. Let it all work out. When I drove down here for the first time, again, that 2 week gap of me thinking, like debating, should I move down here or not, and like me getting in the car, the last 30-minute drive, the last 30 minutes of that stretch when it was, I drove down from Richmond, Virginia, 15-hour drive. And I got here, like I left at 4 a.m. And I got here just as the sun was setting. And I was driving on the highway, like just getting to the city. And I played this one song by Lil Wayne. Let It All Work Out. Play it, like literally just play it if you have never heard it before. But it's just such a great song. And it rings in my head every single time that I just go through adversity. I go through some sort of thing that I didn't think that was going to happen. Like there's constant highs and lows that I've gone through in Miami. And mind you, like I just want to show this for the video right now, but like this is such a beautiful city. Such a beautiful city. It's literally, and again, this big ass truck is blocking the fucking way. Yeah, here we go. That's home to me. That is home. But I just played this Lil Wayne song, and it just like rings in my head every time I go through adversity, every time I doubt myself. Because honestly, like in the first 2, 3, 4 months of me living here, there were multiple times where I was debating if I should just move back to my hometown. Like I just didn't know if I could handle it. I just kept saying in my head, like, let it all work out. Everything happens for a reason. There's been times where I just tell myself, like, this is happening for a reason. Just stick it out. Like, you're here for a reason. Like, just live it through. Like, you're gonna get through this little adversity right now, but I promise, like, you will see it through. And I just kept telling myself that. And I feel like the biggest misconception that I was challenged with was I felt like as soon as I moved down here, everything would be perfect. I wouldn't have to stress ever again. I wouldn't have to worry about anything. Like everything would just kind of fall into my lap. I guess I built that misconception off of the vanity that I saw on social media, being that there's 18-year-olds that drive multi-6-figure cars, and like they're just like living their best life, when in reality, like they're just showing their best moments. And I kind of fell into that propaganda, if you will, of believing that everything that I see online is true and I won't have to go through any type of adversity myself, when in reality, like, you know, I was really tested. I was really tested how bad I wanted to stay here. I was tested why I even moved here in the first place, because honestly, like, I kind of just fell for the Miami propaganda, is what I would call it. Is that you see everything on social media, you see all the vanity, all of the, you know, materialistic things, the penthouses, the nice cars, the dinners, the dates, all of these things. And you're like, as soon as I move there, that's what's going to happen. When in reality, it's just not. It's just not. Like, and I don't want to paint that perspective. Like, honestly, a lot of the things are just optics, meaning that they just, like, they are editing, like, people edit the very small detail. Like, this is why people are so good at marketing. Like, the only thing that they are good at, the only thing they can't lie with, when you see like these guys, like, they're very good at marketing. And they really refine all of their little details that make you say, like, and it's kind of hard not to fall into the propaganda, because you see people who look, speak, talk like you, who have the same story as you, yet they are on so many different levels. But I mean, like, it is true, like, they have the things, like being the cars, being the houses, being the money, you know, they got there truthfully, but you didn't see anything that happened when the camera wasn't on. So it really, like, showed me, like, what I have to do when the camera's off. Like, all the nights where I doubt myself, all the times where I ask myself, is this really worth it? Is it easier if I just, like, go back to my hometown, pick up a normal job, or, like, try to work my way up there? You know, all the times where I just sit alone in my apartment because, you know, I've, like, got burned by so many relationships here where, like, I trusted guys, I put my trust into, like, new friendships, and I just got burned because, you know, they were looking for selfishly, like, with intention for just themselves instead of me. But I would say it's more of like a mirror. I would say Miami is like a mirror. Like, honestly, the world, right? It's gonna mirror back to you whatever you give to it. So if you have this false misconception that's really not true, it's gonna mirror it to you know, your own reality. Like, you're gonna have you know, relationships that don't go as well. You're gonna have times when you doubt yourself because, you know, it's showing you, like, you need to have more confidence within your own your own desires, your own beliefs. Really strengthen, like, that part of my internal, like, atmosphere, if you will. Like, I didn't have my beliefs as strong. Like, I realized that I had a lot of beliefs, a lot of thoughts, a lot of you know, behaviors that I had because of other people, because I would watch other people, when in reality, like, I need to create my own way. And this is something, like, I've read in a book called Transurfing in 78 Days by Adam Zealand. talks about something called a pendulum, meaning that like reality is like, think about it as the system, as the matrix, right? Like the way that the society is set up, like you are in a paradigm. Your paradigm is set by your environment around you, and you will like, you're unable to break out of that paradigm if you just continue to follow what has been told to you over and over again, and just continue to be a copy of everyone else. And to break out of that paradigm, to create your own reality, means to, you know, be a shining star, if you will. Like, be your own person, be your own, like, unapologetically you. Like, just be yourself. And that's what it really taught me, is that like I need to become my own self if I really want to have a life that's fruitful. And that kind of brings me to my next point, being that the second lesson that I learned was that your environment doesn't really shape you, but it reveals, in a way it does shape you, but more so it reveals to you what your weaknesses, what your blind spots, and what your insecurities are. Kind of tagging on to my first point I made, where like everything that I believed when I came down here, like I had to just instantly see success, was very false. But your environment is going to reveal a lot of insecurities, a lot of blind spots you had. Like, one of the biggest things that I learned in my time here is that I can't just immediately put my trust into someone just because like they walk and talk just like me. Like I you know, when I initially moved down here, I moved in with some guys that I felt like were like-minded. I felt like they were you know, guys that I could surround myself with, and felt like they had the same goals as me. But you know, I got burned by those guys. When they started to have doubts themselves, like they just completely flipped, and they just completely like, you know, destroyed their path. And like it just became a very bad rabbit hole that they went down of just like complete destruction in their own life. And it starts to drag me down. Like, you are a product of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you start to see those people that you're around like start to doubt themselves, start to like tear themselves down, like, I mean, like, what do you think is going to happen to your own internal you know, paradigm? And I guess like the biggest weakness that I had for myself was just being able to control my own thoughts and like become my own person in isolation. And this was really, you know, eye-opening for me, because I just felt like I was copying everyone else. Like, I didn't know who I was at the end of the day, because I was just like a reflection of like little bits and pieces of the people that I looked up to online, or like the people I surrounded myself with. And like when I was in isolation, like I just didn't know who I was. Like, the emptiness feeling that I felt when I was alone, the anxiety, the stress of like not being where I was at, kind of showed me like, okay, like you have things you need to work on internally. Like, you're not happy with where you're at in your own life, your own thoughts. Like, there's things in your life that you need to work on. So like the isolation periods really tested me, because like I definitely went down a separate route compared to a lot of people. For me, in the past couple of months, like I've been in heavy isolation just because I live by myself. Like, I don't really surround myself with too many people. Like, I'm very, just because like I'm, you know, kind of concerned and kind of afraid of being burned again by people in my past. Like, it's really led me not to be as outgoing towards friendships, and it's really reflected on like my mental health, to be honest. Like, the past couple of months, it's been the hardest time for me mentally. Like, it really has. Like, it showed up in my relationships, in my business, in my personal life. Like the isolation aspects that I've just like been, like, I saw this thing the other day saying that, you know, a motherfucker's depressed when he starts going for walks by himself. And like, bro, I was going for walks like 2-3 times a day. And like, it was just like get myself out there. Like, it's so easy just to stay in your apartment, just stay isolated by yourself, and like lie to yourself and say you're working, when in reality, like, you're not doing anything. Instead of like going out there and like, you know, talking to people, just like simple conversations, like just being a little bit more outgoing, like just discovering new places, right? And that's what I was missing, was like when I was living back in Virginia, like I always hit like these like side quests, right? Like when I was going to the mountains, it was like going to Virginia Beach, right? Or even going to like North Carolina or DC. And I just was missing that part of me, like missing like the person who like just did random stuff. Like, even now, like me driving to the place I'm going to right now, like, you know, it's a little bit of a side quest, just like doing something random. Like, I'm about to go, like, it's a little bit random, just doing something like out of the norm. But You know, like that's the part that I was missing of me, and like just being in isolation really showed me like what I need to work on internally to have a more fruitful life. And the last thing that I really learned was that it's more of a long-term game. Again, I thought that as soon as I moved down here, everything would just be handed in my lap because I've made the decision to move down to a city where it seemed like everything moves so quick and like things will just work out for me. When in reality, like it's just about building a solid enough foundation. Like I moved to Miami with the intent to really develop myself into the best possible version of myself in my early 20s. Like that's what I wanted to do. So for me, like it's just about setting a very, very solid foundation of not like making quick money, but like building skill sets that allow me to make you know, a lifestyle that I can be proud of. Like that is what I want to live. Like I don't plan on living in Florida my entire life, but like that's what I want to leave Florida with, is like being able to have the skill sets, the mindset, the foundation of, you know, wherever I go, I will have like what I need to be successful. And it doesn't come overnight. Like I know it's going to be a long process. So like that's been the biggest mindset shift, is to shift my thought process instead of thinking in weeks or months, like in years. Like just building the foundation where I will have the skill sets that are required to do anything that I want. But you know, I just wanted to like, I'm sorry if this video like seemed all over the place. Honestly, I thought it'd be a good idea filming this while I was driving, but honestly, like it's kind of hard when I'm driving in Florida because Florida drivers are fucking crazy. Like I just got to be focused on the road at times. But I hope you took some value from this. Thank you for watching.